Hello and welcome to this week's edition of FX Addicts Weekly Market Analysis. This is Tim, the Currency Professor, and today is October 5th, 2012, Friday. So we had a pretty decent week here for everything but the dollar. The euro and the pound were the two stellar players this week. The euro here jumping up quite a bit yesterday, and really breaking out to the upside here from our little correction, and then we had a very decent consolidation here, pretty much around the levels that we had talked about last week, where it should hold up, and it did. So now we're running back up. The question now is, will we exceed this 130-150 area, and if so, by how much? Well, technically speaking, we could run up close to that and then fall off and go down and get back into the downtrend, or we can rocket up above that, get up to about 135. Now, two things here. If it actually does fail at breaking this 130-150 area significantly and then falling back, that would play into the monthly technicals, and we'll look at that here in a minute. And also, if it rose up and closed the month out at about 135, that would also play into the monthly. So we'll take a look at that both a little bit later here. But more importantly is that on the dailies here, we have started to continue with the uptrend that we started several months ago, or about a month and a half ago. And if we look at the weeklies, we can see how we broke out here about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and we consolidated, fell back, however you want to call it here, corrected for 2 weeks, and now this week we're back up. We're going to close the week out very strong, and pretty much reversal back onto the same kind of pattern that we were when we did the breakout. So this is very positive. Looks like we can probably run to that 135 area, 136 maybe even, here on the weeklies. Now we look at the monthlies, and we're right up on the upper channel line here on the monthlies. So we could continue on for the daily and the weeklies to continue on to about 135, which would put us up here, just about right up into here, if I can get up in there, right about there. So that would be a significant move above that channel line. So if we closed out the month of October there, that would be very positive. We would run then another 1,000 pips up to about 144, 145. So there is definitely a very good play if we do that. If we fail here, like we were talking about on the daily chart, if we get up to where we were this past week, past couple of weeks, and we fail and we fall back, then we're going to continue on this downward trend here, and we'll probably seek the 116 to 113 area down into here. That would be the next logical move for that to happen. Now looking at the stochastics are all very strong on the daily, weekly, and monthly. So more than likely, odds are is that we're going to move up. We're going to get up to that 135 and ultimately to the 145 area. A British pound, similar pattern, but a little bit different technically on the longer term. So we look here on the short term. We had a very nice day yesterday, but today we're down 32 pips. So this consolidation is becoming wider. It's starting to fail. So that could play into the fact that the euro could also fail at this level. Now on the weeklies, the ranges have really tightened up quite a bit here for the last 3 weeks now. We are at this 160, 150 area, and we could run to 165 on the pound here, but technically we've had a minor correction, so we could rally from here on the weeklies. On the monthlies, we could certainly rally. We can see here how we could really rally up to about 167, 168 even, but ultimately we're still in this longer term downtrend here that was done by the damage here. So all that we're doing is forming this ascending triangle here, which we should fall out of to the downside. So longer term, this is really a very, very, very bearish pattern, and really looking for it. If we got up to that 167, would really set up some great selling opportunities. U.S. dollar against the Swiss franc, selling off again today after a big sell-off yesterday. We're down about 13 pips. We're down to just under 93. So really looks like technically we could fall off a little more. We could even get down to about 90.50 area, especially when we start looking on the further out type of charts here. We look at the weeklies. We're following what was a support line. It's now become a resistance line. So last week and this week now we've bumped up against that and we've fallen back. So really not a positive sign, but not necessarily detrimental either to the longer term trend. If we look here on the monthlies, we can see how the spike low is really called the bottom. That is the bottom of this 10, almost 12-year downward spiral that the dollar's had against the Swiss franc. So here we are. We're trying to pull ourselves out of that, and it clearly is a point at which we need to test the lows. We get down maybe to this 90 area or thereabouts, and then we can turn around and move back up. Now we need to clear this this upper channel line here on the monthlies, and we need to do it with some real significance. So that trend line right now is about 100. We would really need to rally up and close 104, 103.50 at least on a monthly basis. So we got a lot of movement here to go before we can actually say that this market has indeed turned around. U.S. dollar against the Japanese yen up fairly decently today, up 21 pips. We've had a very, very good week with the exception of yesterday, which was a minor down day. But we had now the last 5 out of 6 days up, so looks very good. Last Friday was really the turnaround day, so looks very, very good here. We're double bottom now down in here, and we're right back up into this consolidation area where we've had a lot of support and resistance level. So once we break through that, we need to clear really up here. We need to clear this area around the 79.50. Once we close decisively above that, we would probably start another rally. Now if we look at the weeklies again, I'm drawn in a little trend line in here, and we can see how this one back here, which was a 4-year trend line, how we just broke right through it and we just rallied for really a nice about 6 weeks. So we're setting ourselves up to do that same kind of thing here again, and realistically we'll probably break out here sometime, looks like within the next 3-4 weeks at the most. And if we look at the monthlies, we can see how that could happen even at the end of this month, before the end of this month. So it's coming. It's just a matter of timing here as to when exactly it moves. But the dollar is going to gain quite a bit against the yen here. Euro Swiss down a little bit today, down 2 pips right now, but overall a fairly decent week. We rallied up. We formed a little bit of a basing pattern here, and we rallied up, and now the last couple of days it's kind of failing a little bit. So we're going to have to see how long this actually lasts, if it can last in the next week and we can actually get another significant rally here. Longer term, we could easily end up around 124, 125 area. There's certainly the possibility of that. Of course, the S&P is holding it at the 120 area, so we can really not go past that. But longer term still looks very, very good, just from a natural standpoint that the euro will gain against the Swiss franc. Euro yen up again today. This is now the 5th day up in a row. Up about 40 pips right now, back up to about 102.50 area. Really looking like we're going to rally up and take out these most recent highs around the 103.50 area. We rack it up just above that. We're still vulnerable to a sell-off. We would really have to close 104, 104.50 in order to really say, all right, we're going to move further. And if we look at the weeklies, we can really rally up to about the 105, 105.50 area before we have any kind of a potential sell-off coming there. So overall, though, we look at that monthlies, and boy, it's still weak. Even though this is the third month up in a row, we're just very, very weak. It's having a very difficult time rallying. We're clearly in this downward pattern here. This did a lot of damage, just like in the pound dollar. So there's a lot of negativity here, and it's having a very difficult time getting going. Ultimately, we could run up to here about 107 area, and then fall back, which would really, again, set up just like in the pound dollar, a very, very good selling opportunity as we get up around that 108 area, because ultimately it looks like we're going back to the upper 80s to lower 90s. So we need to see a significant move this month and close up at that significant high for the month, unlike what we did last month, where we rallied up mid-month and then closed at a substantially lower level, and we ended up with that nice tail there. So longer term, really, the market is pointed downwards, and would prefer to look for a point at which we could really sell it and hold on to it for a longer period of time, make some pretty good money. And that is it for this week. Please stop on by FX Addicts if you have not already, and we offer a 7-day free trial if you would like to step on in. That is for the trade room and the chat room. Otherwise, feel free to contact me if you have any questions or need any help with currencies, forex, or futures. Thank you.